All right then. So welcome back to another episode of Tough Love Tuesdays. We're gonna have to create.
Tune.
We're gonna have to create a jingle of some kind,
Ooh, interesting. George
So
has a little keyboard that he could create something on for us.
Wow, now we're getting boyfriends involved. This is
I
getting.
tease him whenever he gets out because it's like when Ross finds his sound in the it's that kind of keyboard.
I don't think there's any coming back from that. Welcome back to another episode, pals. And I really wish I'd hit record about 2 minutes before I actually did, because let's try and recreate. I don't think we can recreate it, to be honest. But today we're going to teach you or tell you about how you can sell yourself more.
On the streets? No,
Liane. No, Liane. It's not that kind of episode. That's for a whole different channel. No, I'm joking. So the topic of conversation today is around the fact that we can't expect people to know what we sell or even buy from us if we don't fucking tell them. Liane, does this piss you off?
It does piss me off, especially when Lorna does it.
What's really annoying is that we're pre-recording this and we've just done January's episode, which if you haven't listened to that, go back and listen to that. But obviously now we're in February and Liane's savageness is just rapidly increasing.
Yeah.
And it's all aimed at me, so you're welcome.
I mean, who else am I going to aim it at?
Happy Tuesday.
No, it does really annoy me, and both of us are guilty of doing it as well, kind of expecting people to know exactly what we sell and what we do without actually telling people what we sell and what we do.
But the fact of the matter is, it's so much easier to help somebody else do that, and that's why we work so well together.
Yeah, because we kick each other up the arses.
Precisely.
We don't take no shit excuses. Apparently I'm going Cockney now.
I don't know if I can cope with this episode. Okay, so for people that are listening, Liane, bring it back.
God, I forgot there's listeners.
Come back. Let's talk about the fact that I think for me, when I work with people, it's more around, it's always that trickiness of like, oh, I don't want to be too salesy. But actually, you kind of have to realise that you're not being salesy by telling somebody what you sell.
Mm. Yeah.
You're just simply telling them, like, you're just saying, here's my thing. It's not like, here's my thing, now I've got a gun pointed at your head, so you're going to buy it.
But that's the problem, I think, because I think it's the word sales as well. Like, salesman, if you say salesman, you think of some, like, slimy...
I always think of a car salesman.
Well, yeah, slimy little person that really, really wants you to buy their shit because they get a huge commission on it. And it doesn't need to be like that, and it doesn't need to feel that icky when you do sell stuff. It's not, like you just said, it's not like you're saying, this is what I do, now you have to come and buy from me, otherwise I'm going to kick you in the shins. Like, it's like you're just giving people the opportunity to understand what you do, and then if and when they're ready, they know they can come to you for that service.
Yeah, 100%. So to make this episode actually valuable for somebody that's listening, how can we help people kind of get over that ickiness? Because I think for me, with my clients, so I had this with one of my mini mentor people, clients.
Mini mentor mentees.
Oh God, that's a mouthful, isn't it?
I like
glad
it.
It's 10 o'clock on a Friday and not 5 o'clock, because I couldn't say that with a glass of wine. So I think it was more around, I had a really great analogy once of, and this is quite brutal to be honest, so bear with, but imagine somebody's like in the middle of a lake and they're drowning, and you have what's those things called? The like a rubber dinghy thing, like a buoy.
Yeah, a life, I don't know.
Yeah.
Rubber ring.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. Totally failed on this analogy, by the way. I'm really sorry for the person that originally said it. I've just absolutely murdered it. And you have access to that thing. You're not gonna say, "Oh, I could give you this if you give me 100 quid." You're just gonna throw it. You're just helping them. You're serving them, and it's all of a sudden. It's not about like trying to force them to have it, but you're helping them, and that's how we should see serving. You know, when people talk about customer avatars and why do you sell what you sell and all that kind of fluff, that it feels like fluff to me today, and that pain point thing always comes up. And some people that sell products are like, well, I don't solve any pain points. But you have to work out why, why your customer's life would be better if they bought that thing.
Yeah, that's exactly
and then
it.
talk to that.
Yeah. It's more about, I think with customer avatars, you get caught up in like the demographics of things, like are they male or female? Are they 20? Are they 60? Like no one really, I don't care about that. I don't buy things that necessarily a typical 28-year-old would buy because I'm like 90 inside. So it's more it's more about psychographics. And when it comes to selling products and services, it's, if you think about it, more about selling the lifestyle. Like you're not solving someone's problem, but you're giving them the opportunity to live the kind of lifestyle that they want to live. So if you're selling like a travel coffee mug, you're selling the idea that you can have coffee on the go, like that. You're not solving a pain because you're not necessarily in pain about not having a coffee in your hand every moment of the day, although I am. But you're selling that lifestyle that means, right, I can go for a walk and have my coffee at the same time. You're like, it's not saying come buy my thing because it's going to solve every problem that you've ever had in your life. You're saying come buy my thing because it will help you get to that like dream life that you want to live.
Yeah, because you can have coffee whenever you want. And that's just the point, isn't it? But talking about that, it's no longer like, here's my thing, go buy it. It's just about communicating what the thing is.
Yeah.
Like, I think so many people overcomplicate it. Like, they've got to come up with this, well, my product has 6 features. No, it fucking doesn't. It's a travel coffee mug.
Yeah.
We all know what it is.
No one cares about those features. They just want to know if it's going to keep their coffee warm and not spill everywhere. Like, that's the only thing they care about.
Tick and tick.
Yeah.
Done. But until you continuously tell people about that thing, and there's almost like this underlying fear of pissing people off.
Yeah.
Like, if they're following you, I mean, obviously I work in email. So for me, the biggest thing that crops up is like, what if I piss people off and I email them too much? Well, then they unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Who cares? Like, nobody died. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Move on. But it's almost kind of, there's this thing of like, I don't want to upset people or piss people off. But at the same time, if you don't make sales, you don't have a business.
Yeah.
So how do we get people to kind of move past this like talking about their thing constantly?
It's also like, I'm thinking about Instagram specifically here because I think that's where both of us kind of shout about, well, where we should be shouting about ourselves more. But if you think about Instagram, like we all know that not all of our followers see everything we do on Instagram. So if you're scared about repeating yourself or saying the same thing too many times, just remember that not everyone is seeing that thing over and over again. If they are seeing it over and over again and it is annoying them, then yeah, you may lose a follower, but who cares? If they're annoyed about hearing about what you do, then they weren't your ideal client anyway. They weren't ever likely to buy from you. So fuck off, leave me alone. Like,
you know, when I said about Liane's savageness,
yeah,
here it is. But actually, like, when I think about the e-commerce accelerator, the program that I run, which actually, as this goes out, might be running awkward.
This is way in advance, don't we, Lorna?
I'm either promoting it currently, so go check that out, or you've just missed out it be coming back again at the end of the year. This is my podcast, I forget this. But that's the prime example, isn't it? Like, I probably didn't talk about it enough, but here we are. But when I think about what I teach during that program, we talk about the psychology of how many times we have to see something, and there's so many different factors that go into it in terms of price points and, you know, but one of those things is about diversifying your marketing so that, you know, if you're just relying on Instagram and you're so pent up about pissing people off because you have to constantly repeat something, but actually if you put that same message in an email and on a Facebook post and in a Pinterest pin and in a blog post, all of a sudden that one person might see that same message 4 times, but they might not, because you're like you rightly said, not everybody sees every post, not everybody sees every email, not everybody sees everything.
But it's also about being a bit more creative with how you're selling things as well. Like if you are literally repeating the words, go and buy my coffee cup 12 times, then that might get a bit annoying, let's be honest. But if you're able to be a bit more creative with it, like take a step back from the direct sale and be a bit more like, even if you were to show like the behind the scenes or like you using the coffee cup, you're still selling it, but just indirectly. I don't know why I'm so hung up on this damn coffee cup. I feel like I need to go buy one now.
This happens, doesn't it? Mine's normally like earrings or a scarf, so I think it's the fact that
Maybe I
you're
need
two
a
coffees
coffee
deep.
cup. Yeah.
I think that might be what it is.
If anyone has any recommendations for a coffee cup, yeah. It's my birthday soon, so you can buy me one.
2 days, people. 2 days. Put it in your calendar. But yeah, essentially, we just wanted this episode just to be a reminder that you just have to constantly tell people what you sell. It's not about shoving it in their face, holding a gun to their head and saying, buy my thing, but doing that in a way, not doing that, but communicating what you sell and just repeating it.
Yeah.
And from two people that we're giving this advice and rarely take it ourselves. But, you know, the prime example is probably me with tea, because if I'm currently running tea, then this is probably my kick up the arse, given that it's currently November, to go and promote tea.
Yeah, you
Here
probably
we
should
are.
do that, Lorna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why we have each other, and that's fine. It's great. It's all good. But it's true though, isn't it? Like it's very rare that, especially nowadays, that we see something for the first time and go, boom, gonna buy it.
I mean,
So,
I do that more regularly than you do, because as we've established already,
Yeah.
you're better with money than I am, and I like to just spend money for the sake of spending money.
Better or stingy?
I mean,
Fine
Scrooge
line.
springs to mind, but 2 coffees deep, Lorna. 2 coffees deep. Can't expect
I
me to
mean,
do more.
we might need to cut this episode short before we fall out, to be honest. Anything else you want to add in terms of how to sell yourself and promote yourself and all that kind of jazz?
Well, the only other thing that annoys me specifically is when I'm writing website copy for people and they're worried about repeating the same message on different pages on their site. And I always have to remind them that no bugger is going to sit there and read every single word on every single page of your website. And it's similar to the Instagram thing, isn't it? No one's going to read and see everything that you post. So repeating yourself is absolutely a-okay.
Yeah, as the person that like sees a big block of text and runs in the opposite direction, I'm certainly not reading that. So I can agree.
There's also, like, briefly, I know we're running out of time, but briefly, shit, it's gone. No. It was about the big block of text. Fuck my life.
I don't know. I'll go with my thing about websites is it kind of follows on from the repeatingness, but obviously I work with a lot of product-based businesses, and you have to bear in mind that not everybody. The biggest gripe for me is that everyone assumes that every visitor sees their homepage.
Oh, interesting.
So what they put on their homepage, they then don't put on a product page, or they don't put in within the basket or whatever. So if you're, it probably relates more to like promotional banners and things like that, but it kind of leads on from that repeating thing, because I think you're factually correct. Nobody is going to sit and go, okay, I'm going to look at their about page and their services page and their product page and their contact page. Nobody does that. It's not going to happen.
No, it's not that. Yeah, I mean, obviously it takes a certain number of touch points for someone to convert into a customer, but that doesn't mean that they're going to sit there for half an hour and read every single word on your website. It's more that they've seen what you do multiple times in multiple different ways over on social media or email or wherever, and then they get to your website and then they might browse for a little while and then they purchase. But it's not that they're just going to sit there and literally read your entire site, because no one does that except for me, because I like to critique people's copy.
But that's why it's so important to diversify your marketing. If you're literally just on Instagram, of course you're going to feel like you're pissing people off if you just keep repeating the same thing, because that's the only place that you're telling them. So I think we all know, I mean, I don't understand how true it is, but the whole kind of only 2 to 5% of your following see your posts. That's not factual. You can see that, and the percentage changes regardless of which guru you see it from. But
so much venom
let's
behind
face
the
it.
word guru.
Yeah. But not everybody is going to see all of your content. So even like putting it on your grid and putting it on your stories, that 2 different people could see those 2 different pieces of content. And that's just one touch point. So if you're only on Instagram and you talk about your product on a Wednesday and then leave it for another week, why? You can't expect to get sales from that.
No, that is such a good point as well, because it's like there might just be a day where not everyone, but a big proportion of your followers just aren't on Instagram that day. So how can you expect posting once a week about your product to actually convert into customers? It's just not going to work.
Yeah. So I suppose to round up the episode, Liane, one takeaway, one actionable tip, or whatever you want to say. Last words.
Repeat yourself more than you think you need to, and get over the feeling that you might be irritating people. Because if you are irritating people, they were never going to buy from you anyway, so fuck them.
I kind of wish I'd done my last words first, because that would be a fucking great place to end it on.
Sorry, I got very passionate there, didn't I?
How do I follow that? On the spot. Holy shit. I'll just go with, just do me a favor and diversify your marketing. Stop focusing on one channel and expecting to have the biggest, best business on the planet, because it's just not logical or realistic. And just to reiterate what Liane said, if they unsubscribe, if they unfollow, then fuck them. And that's where we'll end. Obviously don't.
Well, that goes back to the other selling of yourself, doesn't it?
No, okay. Let's not. That's full circle. We're done. And that's your Tough Love Tuesday for this month. Hooray! So regardless of when you're listening to this, obviously it will go out on the 1st of February. Happy birthday, Liane, for the 3rd. Obviously, I couldn't finish it without saying happy birthday on that. But of course, we will celebrate on your birthday.
Of course. We missed your birthday, Lorna. Happy belated birthday.
Thanks so much, pal. I will not be missing that on the gram. So I'd like to think that the people that are listening to this will know it's been my birthday.
Well, you'd like to think, wouldn't you? I'm going to come stay with you for your birthday, aren't I? Well, I have stayed with you. This whole time situation is stressful.
This whole, batching podcast episodes is not working out for us, I don't think.
Well, I hope we had a really great time on your birthday.
Me too. I'm sure it was great. On that note, enjoy the rest of your day. I hope that helped. And as per usual, come and join the conversation with us. We will both be promoting this podcast far and wide, predominantly on Instagram.
Across our multiple touch points.
Yeah, we definitely diversify our marketing. Definitely practice what I preach. Yep. Come and join the conversation with us. Do you find it tricky to sell your products? Do you feel like it's a bit icky? Do you relate to a car salesman? Because we can help you get over that, because we're also getting over that ourselves. So on that delightful note, see you later, pal.